Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of November 28, 2015. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. And a happy December to everyone out there. And I think that it is going to be, I do believe it is going to be a very happy start to this December, this month. Now, if there ever was a time when you wake up right at the start of a month and it feels like the energy has changed for the better, just turning that calendar page makes it feel like things are now starting to change for the better in your own life, this would be it. This month would be it, and this week will present that shift, a very positive shift of clear thinking, fresh ideas, and optimism, if not over-optimism, that is going to present itself to us now. What we have happening as we start the week, so while we're still in November, this actually is going to be part of the energy that's been with us for the better part of the last 2 weeks. I've been talking about it in the last two video scopes that I've been doing, the weekly video scopes. And so now we're sort of at this final moment, if you will. We're carrying that into the early part of the week. And this is really truth time, moment of truth time for all of us in at least one area of life. So what is happening is the sun will meet Saturn in the sky, and both together are going to hold that conversation between Neptune. So the sun has already been approaching this. We've been feeling this already. You're feeling this as we head into the weekend of last week. And so this is really one of those, that final moment of really understanding, of truly appreciating. And a lot of the themes that I talked about last week now are going to feel like they come to a new understanding or a new sense of confusion. And if it is the confusion part, if it is your chart, if it is for you to feel more unsure, then ultimately what the promise here is that we will find our way to root ourselves in what it is ultimately that we do know to be true, and are able to admit to ourselves what it is maybe that we don't know as much of, and to be at peace with that. As I spoke about last week, and as I spoke about in the Saturn Neptune special video that I did recently, I've been getting a lot of feedback from you guys for last week and that special video. Truly so grateful for it. Thank you so much. But as I spoke about in those two videos, when it comes to Saturn and Neptune speaking, it doesn't always feel comfortable. It doesn't always feel good. But Neptune wins. Neptune will always win in a conversation with Saturn, and it's just really basic astrology. To the ancients, the further out a planet was, and the slower moving a planet is, the more powerful it is, the more dominant an energy it is in any kind of conversation with any power player in the sky. So particularly right about now, and especially in the very early part of this week, we're carrying that energy in. You've already been feeling this as we're going over the course of this weekend and entering this week. So this is moment of truth time. You might have yours late last week. You might have yours as you're starting this week. And then December arrives. And that's when things are really going to start to feel different almost immediately. And that is thanks to Mercury. Now, Mercury is a very accessible energy, and Mercury moves fast around. It's always zipping around the sun, really. And Mercury, what's really great about Mercury is that it speaks to what we're speaking about, what we're thinking about, what we're talking about as a collective, but also in our own sense of our own processes of what it is that we're thinking and what understandings we are coming to. We have got Mercury speaking in supreme harmony with Uranus. And what we also have happening is Mercury speaking with Jupiter this week. So it is that conversation with Uranus that's happening right on the first of the month as the month begins that represents that shift in energy, that change towards optimism, that fresh perspective, that new way of understanding, a new way of communicating, a new way of moving forward. And there is an energy that is surprising with this, enlivening with this, and it feels like this is the moment that will allow some positive momentum to take place. And also, there's going to be optimism, and in a lot of cases, like I said, over optimism. And that's because Mercury will be speaking with Jupiter as well. So as Mercury speaks with Jupiter, sometimes the ideas can get really big, really lofty. You do want to watch what kind of promises you're making or what it is you're saying about what you believe, because it, it actually, this can be very hyperbolic kind of talking, and especially if you're very in the moment kind of person, you may find yourself saying all kinds of things that you're not really sure, is that really true, or where did that actually come from? But the good thing is that with this energy, because Uranus is really truth, Uranus is enlightenment, so with this particular energy, what it suggests is that if there is any overindulging taking place, whether we're seeing this in the media or in our own lives, we're able to recognize it. We're able to cut through it and get to the essence. See the truth, right, as clearly as day. So what is also really encouraging about this energy is that we are talking and that change is happening, and we know that change is happening, and also that we know things can get better, and they certainly can. Ultimately, it is truth that sets you free, and this is hand in hand happening this week. Sun meeting Saturn is truth. Speaking with Neptune, these two planets speaking with Neptune says that that truth might not necessarily be comfortable. It might be a truth of admitting where we haven't been honest with ourselves, or where it is that we've been a little bit carried away, and now it's about being okay with whatever's been disappointing, but also knowing that we are strong as we are. And then the energy shifts and the freedom starts to show up. Mercury speaking with Uranus in supreme harmony, that speaks to freedom, clear thinking, and a real understanding how truth, as uncomfortable as it might be, ultimately is meant to liberate us to move towards a more authentic, a more genuine, a more honest version of ourselves, a version of ourselves that feels lighter, that feels clearer and more ready to embrace the moment and embrace the day and embrace the opportunities in front of you rather than looking behind you. It's about glimpsing the future and knowing that it is good. Before the week is out, Venus will change signs and move into the sign of Scorpio, sultry Scorpio. This should be really interesting. But Venus moving into the sign of Scorpio, this does suggest that in many ways, we are not going to be so interested in what is superficial, okay, like superficial exchanges. We want something real. We want, in love or otherwise, we want to feel that we are glimpsing truth in other people and that they are in us. And there's a desire now to feel a closeness to other people, a sense of vulnerability with another person. That's going to be more of the guiding principle where it comes to love. But also this has to do with money as well. Venus does also oversee prosperity. And when Venus moves into the sign of Scorpio, it becomes about, and the conversation becomes about, building wealth. It becomes a lot more about healing any emotional issues that get in the way of you experiencing whatever kind of prosperity you desire to experience. And it becomes a lot more about understanding that we deserve to receive, and in receiving, building something that we deem valuable. It's about what you consider valuable. It's about what you consider true, what you consider truly matters. That is what is going to get a burst of love. That is what is going to get a lot of growth starting now and in the weeks to come. But love definitely starts to get a lot more passionate. And we should notice Venus is also fashion and makeup. And we should start to notice a couple of things. One is, where it is that, because Scorpio is so much about truth, and it's also about financial arrangements. And this can be seeing how beauty and clothing is meeting arrangements, right? So this is about, like, I think about things like product placement. This is when it's going to start to become very clear where product placement is happening, even when it doesn't really make sense for this clothing or this makeup or this jewelry to go with whatever else it is that we are seeing, whatever show or product that it might be. But also with this energy, fashion and makeup choices themselves get more sultry. We start to prefer darker colors, more plum colors as well. And we should start to see a lot more smoky eyes happening. A lot of us are going to be inspired by that and are going to be looking at ways to enhance our look to maximize that part that is particularly mysterious, but also pronounced as well. And so everybody out there, whether you're into makeup or not, you're into jewelry or not, in your own way, are going to tap into a sense of growing beauty, like sort of looking at where you are, who you are, and how it is that you can own your unique beauty. Fully own it and also maximize it, making it obvious to everyone around you. Well, thank you so much for watching the introduction. I'm truly so grateful for it. I want to send a special burst of gratitude to the Boston crew, the Boston crew that came out last week. Really, there was so much love, and I'm still sitting with it. I feel changed, and that's what love can do. Love can change a life, and for me, I know that something has shifted because of the amazing people that I met in Boston who came out to see me. And I'm still striving to understand it, but I know that it was a very important and meaningful moment for me. And I look forward to seeing how that understanding continues to unfold and where it leads me in the coming weeks and months ahead. And of course, you'll be here to witness it all. And thank you so much to all of you out there who gave a lot of love last week. Thank you. I'm not used to sharing my life. I'm not used to being so vulnerable. And I really did appreciate the encouragement, the love, the support, and that commitment that so many people showed to being part of that growing energy of love and wisdom. So that affirmation makes me brave, and you guys really do. You make me brave. I have this life that I never anticipated that is so much better than anything I could have planned myself, and it really is because of all of you out there. So thank you so much for your encouragement, your support, and for sharing your stories as well. So, personalized horoscopes. Let's talk about personalized horoscopes. If you would like to have a more personal look at your chart, I'm very happy to do so. Please consider a personalized horoscope. We've got new areas of focus, life purpose, luck and money, and luck in love as well. Those are really popular choices now. So thank you. Thank you so much for embracing those. Also, new deluxe packages are available. There's the one that has been available, which is 2 readings, twice as long, and a special gift. And now we've got a wedding and marriage package, which is about, it combines the relationship and luck in love readings to how it is that you can make your relationship as successful as possible. And then the second video looks at choosing the perfect day or choosing the right day to get married, and also includes a special gift. And there is a business deluxe package for entrepreneurs and companies and rollers and movers and shakers. And this has to do with coming up with an astrological business plan to move your goals forward. So all of that information on all of that is on my website, nadiyashah.com. I love interacting with you guys, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and also on YouTube, in the YouTube comments. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and thumbs up really does mean so much. So thank you for that as well. Of course, the most important thing, absolutely the most important thing, has to do with you being here right now in this moment. And as I say, and as I'm affirming and continuing to learn new ways to affirm and share new ways to affirm, my absolute conviction that the universe is wise and loving. The universe is wise and loving, and you being here allows me to live that that mission, allows me to be here with you in that affirmation. And that really is everything. And I thank you so much for being here. So how all this wonderful stuff taking place this week speaks to you in your sign is coming up right now. Hello, fabulous Aries. This week we have got Mercury and Uranus in your sign speaking in supreme harmony. To me, that says that regardless of your moment of truth, regardless of how it is that it reaches you, you are one of those signs. In fact, all the fire signs out there, much more likely to be the ones who wake up with a special burst of energy as December begins, with that special burst of clarity as well. And very much on a mind level, very much with an understanding of who you are and what you believe, and just fully owning that and finding freedom in that. Also, with this particular conversation, this could be that realization of what you're meant to do next. What it is now that you want to start doing so that you can put things into place to manifest even bigger things down the road. So this is going to allow you to see, okay, do you want to travel? Do you want to go to school? Do you want higher education? If you've been experiencing any kind of roadblocks or uncertainties there, this is a really good week, especially if you're a student in a higher education environment. This can be a time when some good news finds you, or you just do really well on a test. So if you can arrange that, I know it's a little late in the semester, sometimes exams are done right around this time, but if you can arrange to have any kind of exam right on the 1st of December, that would probably work very much in your favor. Where it comes to love, for you especially, love is about to get much more profound, that much more deeper. If you're in an established bond, passion is on high, trust is on high as well, and that desire to truly trust and have something meaningful is that much more important to you than it might necessarily be for other signs. If you are open to meeting someone new, or you're just getting to know someone, well, if you're just getting to know someone, this is going to be a time when you are wanting to see more. It looks like this is a time when you're, okay, maybe you like some things, maybe you don't, but still there's a desire there to learn a little bit more, see a little bit more as well. And if you're open to meeting somebody new, it is the ones who seem most genuine and are able to be most honest that are going to be the most appealing to you now. Hello, fabulous Taurus. This week, we have got an important turn for you, an important realization for you where it comes to what's happening with your money, what's happening financially. And it is going to be for you that moment of truth. All of us are having it. I spoke at length in the monthly horoscopes about it as well. But for you in particular, it will be around money and finances and how you feel about it. And are you at peace with your financial situation, where it is, if there are any emotional things that you need to look at, and where it is also that you could be earning your money in a way that feels more empowering, that feels like you're doing something that truly does matter to you. All of these are going to be highlighted for you now. This is not the week for you or your opposite sign for that matter, not necessarily the week to ask for a raise. It's not necessarily a time. If it comes, that's great. But not necessarily the time to be pursuing that. More time to see what it is that shows up for you. And also, if any opportunities do show up, being honest with yourself and with that other person about what actually is involved and what it is that you believe you deserve. In fact, I do think, again, you and your opposite sign very likely will have to make some sort of a declaration, like somebody comes out of the woodwork, somebody maybe that you worked with a long time ago or you haven't worked with for a while, comes out of the woodwork and says, hey, can you do this for me? Or hey, let's do this together. And it's going to be up to you to decide if that's something that you are really in alignment with now or not. It's going to be up to you to decide if the money piece of it works for you or not. So just be a little bit mindful of that and strive to see things as they really are. It's always a good idea, but especially right now with Neptune being so active, especially a good idea as well. Where it comes to love, Venus moving through your opposite sign is really good. In love, it is really, really good, especially if you are in an established bond. This brings you affection and closeness with that person that you love. Also, what this energy suggests and symbolizes is that if any new people show up right about now, they're long-term potential. So the people who are introduced into your life right about now would be those with the promise of something being there long term. There's a desire now for clarity. There's a desire now for all of us to get to the truth where it comes to love. And for you, that becomes that much more pronounced. And wherever it is that you are with a person or interested in a person and you realize, you know, this isn't really a long-term thing. I don't see this working out in the bigger picture. You will be honest with yourself. And that honesty will actually open you to even more love, more affection, and especially a greater sense of self-approval, which ultimately is the thing that is most attractive in all of us. Hello, fabulous Gemini. This week, we have got the Sun meeting Saturn in your opposite sign. So all of us are having moment of truth for you. It is in love and relationships, especially those of you born at the very end of the month. So sort of right at the beginning of the sign, the last 10 days of the month are going to be feeling this energy more than most, but everybody out there will be feeling this energy. And again, moment of truth where it comes to love. Why are you where you are? Who is this person that you are with? Or why are you not with anybody? And just being honest with yourself. Not necessarily about making excuses. That's not what this is about. This is about being at peace. Challenging yourself so that you can move beyond the excuses and be at peace with whatever it is that you decide and whatever it is that you come to understand. Remember, in this conversation, as I said in the introduction, Neptune wins. Neptune wins in this type of discussion. So what that means is, for you, Neptune is at the very top of your sky, and Neptune is very much, and right about now, is bringing an ideal energy to whatever it is that you desire most, whatever it is you want your legacy to be, whatever it is that you want to achieve and accomplish. There has to be a sense of meaningfulness to it. It has to connect to the whole in some way for it to be strengthened. And so this is likely going to be a time where people are either going to be those who, and especially one-on-one connections, are going to be those who either you realize are a part of that or not part of that, or this could be anyone that you're partnered with saying to you, okay, look, you are on a path right now, and it might not be in alignment with what actually could be really amazing for you, what actually could be better for you. So it's a truth, not easy to hear necessarily, but ultimately, this is about refining your course moving forward. But other people are going to be imperative in this process. So where it comes to love, again, I'm not saying that if you don't have love, you're looking at why. No, it's like, okay, if you're not in a relationship or you haven't been in a while, what's really going on with you? And being okay with that. Sometimes it's time to be in a relationship. Sometimes it's not. Maybe you've been saying you don't want a relationship, but now, right around now, lots of feelings could be coming up so that you understand more about why you are where you are and how you got there. But again, in the context of an established bond, you are seeing this person as is. You're seeing this person for the positive that they bring into your life, but also the disappointments that have been there as well. And for some of you out there, this might be moment of truth, big truth coming out in the context of a specific relationship that ultimately is going to be one that really does feel like a huge relief. Your ruling planet, Mercury, is speaking in supreme harmony with Uranus this week. So if anyone is going to feel liberated by the truth that comes forward now, it will be you. Hello, fabulous Cancer. This week, we have got the Sun and Saturn meeting in a part of the sky for you that has to do with work and the workplace and your clients, and they are asking a lot of you. The pressure is on. There's lots of work to be done. If anyone is not going to be able to get away from the office, it's going to be you. I got to be honest with you. Even if there is a part of you that wishes it was so, that wishes you could have that little break, take that little time. Ultimately, as I look at this energy, it does say that there are some hours that you need to put in. There is a due date, very likely, that needs to be met. There are certain demands that are being asked of you, and you need to decide if this works for you or not. But more importantly, you need to decide what you are going to bring to that moment so that instead of draining your energy, it fills you with energy. So this could be having to create a meaningful personal connection. This could also be creating routines that support effectiveness and achievement. At the end of the day, with Saturn, what matters is what you do. What matters is what you're manifesting. It's not about your intention. And so your intention is one thing, that's great, but what are you actually doing to get the job done? That's going to be very much on the surface right about now. In the context of love, for love, we have Venus moving into a very compatible position for you, moving into fellow water sign Scorpio. This brings the fun and flirt back into love. So if you are open to meeting somebody new or just getting to know someone, this is a really great placement because it suggests that you're feeling more at ease, you're feeling more open, you want to have fun, you want to enjoy life, and love and meeting new people is going to be part of that equation. If you are in an established bond, well, just know, regardless of your relationship status, this tends to bring with it a measure of fertility. So if that's something that you want, that's great. You can use this energy. If that's not really where you are right now in your life, then you can use this energy in different ways. If you are in an established bond, again, there's a desire for fun with this energy. There's a desire to enjoy life more and a desire to rekindle the love that has been there. And so claiming that fully, owning that fully, will only lead you to experiencing a greater closeness with that person that you consider your partner. Hello, fabulous Leo. This week we have got Saturn and the Sun meeting, the Sun being your ruling luminary, and they are meeting in a compatible fire sign for you. So all the fire signs out there, as I spoke of with Aries, I will speak of with Sagittarius as well. All the fire signs out there have a much easier way of utilizing this energy to their advantage. And so yes, it's moment of truth time in at least one area of life. This is the changing point. This is where you start understanding what direction you're going in and also where you are not going or meant to go or want to go for that matter. This understanding might lend itself to changes in your financial picture, changes in what you are sharing. However, this is really about leading you to a truth of what your heart really wants. I will say this. If you are open to meeting someone new, that is great. If you're just getting to know somebody, that is great. But be mindful that if you don't really know this person or you just met them or you're just getting to know them, even if it feels amazing, if they hit you up for money, if they hit you up for money really early, okay, or even not so early, this is the time to step back a little bit. This is the time to say, okay, let's pace ourselves here, and to trust your intuition as well. So be mindful of that. If you're in a relationship or you're getting to know somebody right now and the two of you are like in very different income brackets, then this is going to be you looking at how does it feel in terms of what you're giving and what you're getting. How is the power dynamic there? Is there any kind of power dynamic there because of the financial difference? So all of these are going to be areas that are awakened for those who are, again, just getting to know someone, or they are or they are open to meeting someone new. If you're in an established bond, this energy is going to work out a little bit differently. Well, for one, whether or not you're in an established bond, if you have children, this could be a time when an expense shows up for a child that actually might not really be necessary. So just be mindful of that. Maybe let a little bit of time pass. Move towards the later part of the week before you have to put that money there. Because I do see some people out there, like their kid comes to them, I really got to do this and it's got to be paid and it's got to happen right now. And then your kid might change their mind. So just be mindful of that. Mind changing stuff that affects you financially if you have children is possible, particularly this week. Also taking place for those in an established bond. So let's get to those in an established bond. This is about spending time at home. This is about creating a space for the two of you, creating that fortress of solitude that the two of you can share together. So there's going to be a real desire now for privacy, for time alone, for closing the door, for just being present with each other, for knowing that you're home together at the same time. All of that is going to matter now in terms of affirming the love that you have. But overall, this is a week, as I said, fire signs are doing very well this week with the energy that might be a little heavy, but also doing exceptionally well with that clarity and that insight they need to make some very positive and quick and very happy changes as well. Hello, fabulous Virgo. This week we have got your ruling planet Mercury speaking in supreme harmony with Uranus. So even though there is some very serious energy, moment of truth energy, as I've been saying in the monthlies, for every sign this week as well, for you, you are one of those signs who is going to be able to turn things around very quickly and very much in your favor. So the key really lies in the connections you already have. The key lies in the connections of your past and your family of origin, and also your house, like the actual place that you live, or houses in general. So what do I mean by this? Where it comes to accessing positive turnaround, lovely surprises, breakthroughs that include financial progress as well. What you want to be doing this week, particularly as the month starts, is connecting with family. It has to do with spending time at home. It has to do with considering a home-based business. If you have a home-based business, you'll want to be working as December starts. And if you sell homes for a living, you want to be working as December starts. So even if, as November's ending, things aren't looking so good, or you're feeling kind of stressed, whatever the case may be, those of you born in the last 10 days of a month, any given month, if you're born in the last 10 days of the month, you're going to feel this energy more than others might. However, it is going to be everybody out there who's going to be experiencing a shift, moment of truth energy that eventually lends itself to a real sense of personal understanding and breakthroughs that create meaningful change, including financial gains as well. So that's what you want to keep in mind. When things feel a little uncertain as you're starting the week, know that things will turn in your favor very quickly. And if you are one of those lucky ones out there, and a lot of you will be the lucky ones that don't feel as stressed or as much pressure, but actually feel that there is a way, and absolutely there is, but actually can see in the moment how the truth is helping you and is moving you forward, and it's a truth that you are able to welcome with open arms, well, that will be that much better for you as well. Where it comes to love this week, we have Venus moving into a new sign, and this changes the way that we attract, and it changes our focus in the context of love as well. So for you, it is going to be neighbors. So let siblings and cousins hook you up with people, and it could be somebody that you run into your neighborhood or run into while you're walking through your neighborhood, or one of your neighbors as well who might be of interest to you, also might flirt with you as well this week. So it is sort of close to home, or home base is where it is that you want to be looking. If you are in an established bond, then this is going to be a time when you're talking things out. You're talking more, you're sharing things that are a bit more personal, and it's very possible that in conversation, your partner reveals some things that surprise you, but actually bring you that much closer. Even though Neptune is doing some funny things in your opposite sign, as the week is starting, the move of Venus towards the later part of the week into a new sign does suggest a shift of focus and a shift of energy, and does suggest that things are moving forward in a direction that feels like you are moving that much closer to love. Hello, fabulous Libra. This week, we have got an active sky taking place, and as you're starting the week, moment of truth energy for all of us. For you, this moment of truth is going to be around a sibling, a cousin, or a neighbor. If there ever was a time to be extra nice, this would be it. If there ever was a time to hold back, right, any kind of fun, any kind of reaction, any kind of, talk, this would be it. So be mindful of how you're communicating and how that might be received by another person. Keep in mind the love that is there as well, because there is that possibility that what you communicate is received in a way that was not intended. Or it could be that the person ends up being super sensitive and receives the information in a way that ends up creating some hurt feelings. So this is going to be a moment for you to put love first, to keep whatever you're feeling. And it isn't about not being honest with people, but it's more about choosing the right time to say whatever it is that you need to say, but also understanding that there are certain things that either don't need to be said, that are not your business. If you think that it's something involving you, right? If your feelings are hurt, sit with it for a couple of days. Talk to someone else about it so that you can strive to understand what is going on. Because that little move, before you actually approach that sibling, that cousin, that neighbor, that little move will ensure that you are clear, ensure that you're seeing things from a perspective that ultimately is meant to empower you, empower the other person as well. So where you can, be mindful not to say anything hurtful. And if you can, when information comes at you from one of these people, if it is something that hits a sensitive spot, then own it, strive to understand it before and if, or at least along the pathway to deciding if you're actually going to bring it to this other person. Where it comes to love this week, love for you is in a very interesting place, because we have Mercury speaking in supreme harmony with Uranus in your opposite sign. This is good for surprises all around in love. And so what's really interesting to me about this energy is that those very same people, cousins, siblings, neighbors, those very same people can be the people who surprisingly reveal love to you, like very much on the spot, totally without your awareness. So you run into a new neighbor and you go, oh wow, okay, there's a connection here. Or you're out with a sibling or a cousin and you run into somebody that they know and you go, oh wow, okay, this is somebody of interest to me. So there is that sense of awakening. But also, if you are in an established bond, this can be a really good time to share new ideas, to brainstorm, and to just think about the future together and all the fantastical things that you want to do. So it is a time to let a spontaneous conversation ultimately open up new ideas to you in many different areas of life and for your partner as well. We do have Venus. Venus is goddess of love, but Venus will be leaving your sign this week and entering a financial part of your sky. So this is going to be good for money overall. You should start to feel like more money is coming in, and you'll also be feeling generous and feeling like you have what you need to get some nice treats for yourself as well, even a few items that otherwise you might pass over, otherwise you might think of as indulgent or luxury items. This is going to be the time when you actually have that, not only the income part of it, but the interest part of it is there as well, to allow you to enjoy whatever it is that you deem some of the finer things in life. Hello, fabulous Scorpio. This week, love really is on the agenda, especially as we move towards the later part of the week. Venus is going to enter your sign. Venus entering your sign is good overall for just about anything. And I talked about this at length in the monthly horoscope, the love-focused horoscope for your sign for this month. But what it comes down to it is you will be feeling the love. You will be feeling the love, you will be feeling beautiful, and your charming self will be able to attract more of whatever is beautiful towards you, or whatever you deem beautiful. So good time for makeovers, buying new clothes, cosmetics, jewelry, those types of purchases, and especially if it involves changing what has been and considering something new, embracing something new. You've got lots of cosmic support to create changes that you like very much, that make you feel that much more beautiful, or at the very least that you appreciate that beauty was always within you. Where we look at other areas of life, we do have a very interesting positive conversation with Mercury and Uranus, but we've also got a very interesting conversation playing out in a financial part of your sky. So this is work and money that is being highlighted under this particular energy. If you focus on the work, I think this is going to be a time with some great ideas come forward of work that you could do that could be rewarding to you. But also this can be some really positive, like kind of long overdue workplace changes that take place now. That ultimately works to your advantage. So it could be that someone you really didn't like that much finds an exit, and that works very well for you. It could be that right about now there's some restructuring that takes place that also works to your advantage. If you're self-employed, a new client could come back or be not a new client, so someone that was a client a long time ago comes back, or someone pops up that actually was recommended by someone else right about now and brings a measure of more rewarding work for you. For other people out there, or for all of you out there actually, with Saturn and the Sun meeting in a very financial part of the house, you add to this that conversation with Neptune. This is continuing from last week and is in the early part of the week. This is about really overdoing it or taking a risk with money, making a gamble. I would be very careful. There are times when, yes, the universe is saying, go for it, take that risk. Bet the farm. Sometimes the universe says, bet the farm and you will come out on top. And then sometimes the universe says, if you bet the farm right about now, you will get a bit of an awakening. You might not be seeing things very clearly where it comes to taking risks and any kind of sort of betting, okay? So whether it's as simple as a lottery ticket or even just a hunch that you have. Of course, you want to trust yourself. You want to trust your hunches. However, where it comes to putting your money down, I would suggest playing it a little cool. Things will become clearer, especially as December begins, and especially once Venus enters your sign. You'll have a better understanding of what it is that you really want. And if somebody's trying to tell you that it's now or never, that this is your one and only shot, well, look, the universe is abundant. It's never that opportunity knocks once. Opportunity comes again and again and again. And especially if it's something that you're meant to do, and especially if it's something that moves you towards greater love and greater wisdom, that's part of your learning, part of your growth, part of you experiencing greater love for yourself, for others, and in every sense of the word, that opportunity will definitely come again and again and again, looking slightly different, but always there. Venus in your sign is only going to help you to appreciate this truth. Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. This week, Saturn and the Sun meet in your sign. They're getting together in your sign. Those of you born in the early part of your sign, particularly if you were born towards the end of the month, are going to be feeling this energy more than others might. But really, all Sages out there should be feeling, if anyone's going to have that moment of truth, it's going to be you. If anyone's going to have that moment that goes, whoa, okay, this is who I am. This is not who I am. This situation does not represent what I'm about. It is going to be you. You're going to be saying either one of those three things. Where I am right now, what's happening right now, this particular interaction, this particular moment is not being true to myself. Or, like I said, realizing this is who I am or this is who I'm not. Either way, it is an understanding that needs to happen. It is an understanding that's going to come about by looking through a situation. And so it could be on the surface that things are not so clear, but when you sit with it, and especially where it comes to some strong feelings coming up, if you sit with it, you will understand it. And that will help you get that clarity that ultimately will make all the difference. You know, I've been saying to all the fire signs, if anyone's going to wake up December 1st and feel different, it very likely is going to be you. And so count on that. Understand that things can change. And as a Sag, I think you know this. Things can change and turn around in a heartbeat. Things can go from really precarious, really uncertain, and even feeling a little down, to being incredibly clear, incredibly great, and feeling like life has granted you a new lease. Feeling like you know where it is that you're going, feeling like opportunities are surrounding you. You know this to be true. Where it comes to this serious energy, some of you actually, in fact, all of you, will get to the point of welcoming this truth, okay? But it is going to be your particular truth. It might not necessarily be what you think it's going to be. Neptune is involved. So it's never what you think it is when Neptune is involved. But even with Neptune involved, this ultimately is your chance to decide what matters and who you are, and what direction it is that you're going, and what you want to demonstrate to the world. And that is something that is rare. That opportunity to know for sure something about yourself is not often. And so when it comes, do embrace it. This is about, you know, moving past any illusions, moving past kidding yourself and getting to the truth. And then taking action and welcoming surprises that change a whole lot of things for you. There'll be, by the end of the week, a spirit of optimism, a spirit of faith, a spirit of belief that great things can happen, big things can happen, and they certainly can, especially for someone like you. Where it comes to love this week, we have Venus moving into a very quiet part of your sky. So Venus moving into this very quiet part of your sky does speak to you sort of playing low key where it comes to love. Whether it is that you're meeting somebody new or just getting to know someone, be mindful, especially if you're getting to know someone like online. Make sure you video chat with them ASAP, right? Because this can be like things being hidden from you. If you are already connected to someone, this is going to be wanting that quiet time, wanting that behind the scenes time alone with them. And even if you are connected to somebody, it may just be that you want that space. You need that time to figure out yourself energetically, and that ultimately will lead you to creating a stronger bond. Hello, fabulous Capricorn. This week we have got moment of truth, Sun meeting Saturn. It's really all about the Sun meeting Saturn this week. It's all about that polishing off, that finishing off of that conversation taking place between Saturn and Neptune. It's being highlighted now with the Sun. And it's all about recognizing that things can change dramatically for the better, energy, opportunities, all of it can go way up through the roof from one day to the next. So for you, Saturn is your ruling planet. And so when we have the Sun meeting Saturn, as it does once a year, so once a year, the Sun comes around and meets Saturn. When this happens, it is a moment of clarity for you and a moment of truth for you that is that much more meaningful. As I look at this, it feels to me as I look at this that you're about to have a conversation that on the surface might be really confusing, but if you sit with it and you're honest with yourself, things will be very clear. It's as if I see somebody giving you a message and they don't want to say it directly, right? They don't want to just put it out there. And so the conversation, the communication seems to be going all roundabout, seems to be taking you in different directions, but at the end of the day, it is the actions and it is seeing through the words that makes the strongest imprint. And that will reveal what is really going on to you. So I'll give you a little example. Let's say in the context of love, this could play out in many different areas of life, including love, but also in more professional areas as well. I'll give you an example. If you meet somebody and they seem really awesome and they tell you that they don't have Facebook, that is very unlikely. I know that not everybody's on Facebook. I know that. I connect with you guys through my website and Google+, and I know not everybody is on Facebook, but it's pretty much a given. Normally, if you connect with someone new and they tell you that they don't have Facebook, it's much more likely that they've got something on their Facebook that they don't want you to see. Let me just say that. I know that's not true for everybody, okay? I know that. However, at the same time, this is something that, comes up sometimes. So be aware of that. And that's what I mean. Like, people can be one way with you. They're saying one thing, but when you look past the words and you sit with the feeling, how did you feel with that communication, that exchange, that conversation? And that really will reveal all to you. All that you need to know will become clear as you give yourself that quiet and that space. Also this week, I gotta say, sleep. You may want a lot of sleep. You might feel just energetically that you need to recharge. So honor that feeling. In the context of love, so as I already said, if you're meeting somebody new, this is about seeing through those words. If you're getting to know somebody, seeing through the communication, seeing through the words that are being presented to you. Having said that, Venus is moving into a part of the sky for you that has to do with friendship. And so this is a really good time if you are in an established bond to feel a sense of friendship with this person as well, and to share times with friends also. And if you are open to meeting someone new, especially towards the end of the week, you've got lots of opportunity to make that happen. The more social you are, the more likely it is that a love connection will show up for you. Hello, fabulous Aquarius. This week we have got your ruling planet speaking in supreme harmony with Mercury. So your ruling planet speaking in supreme harmony with Mercury. This to me does suggest that the best of you is coming forward, and you're able to bring together mind, you're able to bring together words new ways of thinking, new ideas, a new understanding of where you want to go, a new vision of what is possible to you, and also being able to articulate it and to implement it. This is a really great week if you know that there's something within you that you have to share, if there's a particular perspective or a message that you desire to communicate in writing or in person or otherwise. This is the time when things can start to become that much more clear for you. Also with this all around, Mercury and Uranus meeting to me is just happiness all around. This looks like a happy conversation, especially for you. Your mind gets a whole other perspective. It feels like you're finally feeling clearer than maybe you have, given all this wonderful Neptune, Saturn, and now Sun energy that is finishing off last week and the very beginning of this week as well. So that freshness, those surprises, that sense of brand new beginnings and possibilities are really going to hit home for you in some wonderful ways. Also, in the context of love, we have Venus moving through the very top of your sky. So Venus moving here does suggest to me that in some key ways you're thinking big picture. A lot of love is going into your goals and into the work that you're doing. And so your partner will have to in some way be part of this or give you that space that you need to make some goals happen for you, to make some progress happen for you. So having that understanding between a person that you're committed with will only help the relationship grow in a sense of trust. If you're open to meeting somebody new or you are just getting to know someone, again, it's big picture thinking. And this is also Scorpion energy. It's not about keeping things easy, breezy, and light. It's about thinking about the bigger picture of your life and where you're going and what it is that you really want. It's about thinking about ultimately the highest sense of the word. And you know how to do this. You're very futuristic. You are the sign of the future. And thinking about where it is that this love or this person might fit into the big picture, it is going to be there. As much as you want to live in the moment, you will be thinking 10, 20 steps ahead. As long as you know that about yourself, you embrace that about yourself, it's only going to help you to move forward with that much more clarity, that much more certainty as well. I will say this though, financially speaking, not necessarily the time to be making, huge investments or really putting down a whole lot of cash for something that is uncertain. Just be mindful of that, because I actually think that if you tap into your ancient ruler Saturn, and if you ground yourself in that energy and focus instead on the wonderful developments and positivity, then the things that are speaking to some financial choices that maybe are not the highest and greatest and best, some financial choices that end up feeling like, okay, I guess that was karmic, all that money had to go in that direction. What you want is the money to come in, right? And you can have that, but it does involve a plan. It does involve being smart about it. Have your insights, have your breakthroughs, have your momentum going forward, and at the same time, consider your own value. Consider what is valuable to you, and know that whatever that is, that might actually change. And it can sometimes change very quickly. So if there are any kind of purchases that you've been looking forward to, or anywhere that is requiring sort of an injection of money, you are going to have to decide if it's worth it, if it fits into the big picture or not. It seems like there's a lot of hope around any sort of financial transactions that take place right now. So as long as you're smart about it, as long as you stay in an energy of abundance, things will certainly go in your favor. Hello, fabulous Pisces. This week, we have got your ruling planet, Neptune, in your sign, continuing that conversation with Saturn. This time the sun gets involved, amplifying that conversation. You are really getting very clear about what's worth achieving and what isn't. You're getting clear about your relationship with your bosses. Do you like it or not? You're also getting clear on your direction. What kind of legacy do you want to leave? What is also in a higher sense your life purpose? And I do think with this honest evaluation, those of you who are on the path, it's like the universe is going to start showing you, it's going to start helping you to get more in alignment with that sense of living in alignment with a sense of life purpose, living in alignment with a sense of direction and knowing that you know where it is that you're going. But along the way, you need to have these moments of honesty. You need to have these moments where you're checking in with yourself and making sure that you're not getting carried away in a direction that ultimately might seem really big and bold and beautiful to you, but might actually be quite small compared to what the universe has planned for you. So if you are able to be honest with yourself, this is going to be a time of some tweaking. This is going to be a time when the universe is going to try to get you to break through in terms of your career, but it might not be as you expect. So if you have been on a path that really there's a higher plan for your life, that will be made clear. If you are on that path and it is the plan for your life at this moment in your life, this can be a time when you are making a choice to move even more purposely in that direction. And this can be a time, yes, of some questioning, but ultimately things coming together in the best possible sense, very much to your liking. You add to this the fact that there are some lovely career developments, money developments as well, very possible to you now. In the context of love, we do have the ruling planet of your opposite sign speaking with your ancient ruling planet in your opposite sign in a conversation of motivation and tension that astrologers call a square. This suggests to me that all might not be clear with a partner. You might want to talk things out. That'll probably not make things any clearer, I'll be honest with you. However, if you are grounding yourself in belief in wonderful surprises, wonderful turnarounds, if you anchor yourself in a belief that as long as you value and love yourself, life can only go in a direction of greater and greater love, then that is what you will experience this week. That is what you'll be emphasizing, and that is what will be true for you. If you are in an established bond, this could be a time when you're wondering, where's your partner at? There might feel like a little bit of a disconnect. And as much as you want to talk, as I said, there's times to talk, and then there are times to feel things out and understand that it's not always about you. It's not about what's happening with you and that person, but more about just what's happening with that person. And ultimately, a lesson that for all of us actually in love is that you can't control other people. You can't control love. Ultimately, a big learning curve in love is acceptance. Acceptance that this is another person, they have a will of their own, and they know where they're going, and they know whether or not that which moments you are a part of and which moments are theirs. So there's no competition with any other area of life. There's no competition. It's not like you or their work or you or their friends. Don't do that. I would advise. I don't normally say don't do that, but I would advise you not to do that, because it does seem like if you try to do that, it'll only create tension, and there's no need for it. If you are in an established bond, the love is there, and it will only grow stronger. If you are open to meeting someone new, or you're just getting to know someone, again, rely more on intuition and let a little bit of time pass. I do really like it that as we move towards the later part of the week, Venus moves into fellow water sign Scorpio. This is a very harmonious position to you, and it does suggest that love becomes something that you start understanding as part of the vision for your life. And love is something that becomes, just on a very immediate level, more enjoyable. So even if there is, and that's a big if, but if there is a little bit of a learning curve in the middle of the week, know that by the time you get into the later part of the week, the universe will begin working overtime to make you feel that much more loved where you are and make you feel that there really is a world of possibilities available to you. Well, thank you so much to all signs out there. I'm truly so grateful for this moment with you. Until we connect again, take care. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.